Welcome into faith. Welcome in everyone who's here live with me. Welcome into everyone on the replay. I'm so excited to be here and to lead you through this. I've been calling it a portal, like this transformation, this like holy shit realization over these 3 days together. Okay, so first of all, I want to remind you guys that are here live with me. I know you're doing other things, but I would love you to commit. I would love you to get in the chat and love you to communicate with me, get involved in the conversation. Tell me where you're watching from, where you're joining from. Why did you join a masterclass called Faith? Okay, this is huge. Okay, amazing, amazing, Ricky. This is huge because just as, okay, I don't want to call anyone out specifically, but the way that we show up to even an event like this has some potential similarities to how we show up in our business or in our life for ourselves. All right, are we 1 foot in, 1 foot out? Why did you join a masterclass called Faith? Yes, North Florida, amazing, right? So just a little bit of housekeeping before we get into today's lesson. I want to remind you guys about the giveaway. Okay, you can share a story graphic for a reboot. Yes, you can share the story graphic. You can boomerang the training. You can take a video, take a photo, share it to your stories, and tag me. And I'm giving away a manifestation activation private call with me. And I'm going to draw the winner on Wednesday's lesson. Okay, so let's get into it. Sometimes I go through this portal, when I'm delivering this information, when I'm like, I see it as almost like a channel. Most of the time, I feel like this channel this information is moving through me. And so when I log off, I love to see that you guys have shared, that you guys are commenting, that you guys are following along and yeah, and like are in this energy and in this material with me. So I apologize if I'm a little bit like my picture is a little bit slow. Hopefully the audio is fine. Um, okay, so let's go. Let's get into it. Be do have. Okay, before be do have, why faith? Why faith? So, one sec. There's often a cycle, right? And I want you to become very aware of this cycle over these 3 days because when there's awareness, we can change something. So, why did I choose to teach a masterclass on faith? Okay, most of you know the be do have concept. We'll get into that in a second. But why faith is because there is this cycle that I see within myself, within leaders of all levels, if that's what we want to call it, whether you are just beginning your business, whether you're scaling to 6 figures and beyond, right? There is a cycle. There is doubt. Sometimes there's inconsistency. There's lack of discipline. Okay, in our world, we call discipline bliscipline. It's really fun. So it's easy to say we want these things, these experiences. It's easy to say we want to wake up to, clients in our offers. It's easy to say we want to drop an offer and have people join right away. It's easy to say we want 100K months. It's easy to say all of these things, but it's quite another to actually move in the assumption of and hold it even when the results aren't coming. We're going to talk about that. Okay, so that is the missing piece. What is it? It's faith. It's faith in the unseen, faith in the unknown, faith that everything is working out in perfect divine timing. And I'm going to continue to move as. I'm not going to drop the ball. I'm not going to succumb to this cycle that I have found myself in for potentially a lot of my life. And that's why I'm here. Exactly. Okay, there's this cycle to any degree. I'm pretty sure I can guarantee every single one of us here know what I'm talking about to some degree. Okay, there's doubt, there's inconsistency, there's lack of discipline. We say we want something, we don't actually do the things that we know will bring the thing to us. Therefore, there's a gap, right? Okay, so over these 3 days, we're going to close it. We're going to close it together. So I want to come back to the be do have. It was not in the right spot in a second here. Okay, so I want to share a little bit of my story first. Some of you know this already, but I'm going to share pieces of it again. Okay. And this time I have photos. This was me and my two kids in 2017. All right. My baby was born earlier that year. You can see her there. This is towards the end of 2017. Who am I in this photo? Okay. At this point in my life, I already knew there was more available to me. You can see it in my face. There's something more, even though from the outside looking in, it could have looked like I was in the depths of struggle, hardship, lack, limitation, because those were my results in that moment. But there was something inside of me that knew that I was here for more, knew that my life wasn't just government housing, single mom, two tiny kids, raising them all on my own, 100% on my own, right? There was more. I knew there was more available. So you can see it in my face. But in this moment, the moment that this picture was taken, I remember exactly when it was. I was out for lunch. My mom was buying us sushi. We went for sushi for lunch. And there was this feeling in my stomach that I know there's more. I know there's more available, but there's always the but, right? I was avoiding making a decision. I was avoiding making a decision. Okay. So in this moment, I wanted the different experience. I wanted to get out of Canada. I wanted to show my babies the world. I wanted to live a life of abundance, to be able to hire the support, to give my children the life that I knew I wanted to give them. I wanted all those things. But there was one thing that I was stopping, that was stopping me. And it was me, hey Kara, avoiding making a decision. I talk about decision making all the time because it is so vital. Okay. So if you are here and you are like, I want all these things, I want abundance, I want, freedom, I want all of this, what are you avoiding? What decision are you avoiding making? Because it's the decision that will begin to transform your world. It's the decision that comes before anything else. We can't be, do, have unless we have made the decision that this is what we're going to do. Then we develop the identity from the inside out. We move in discipline and we hold ourselves to our highest because we have faith. I apologize. My cat is underneath the blanket here and is like crawling underneath my computer. Get out of here, you asshole. Right. All right. So this was me in 2017. You can see I was there. I was like, oh, there's something available. There's more available to me, but I'm afraid to make the decision because I'm not sure that I can hold it, or I'm not sure that it's available to me now. The money hasn't come yet. The validation hasn't come yet. The success hasn't come yet. My business hasn't grown yet. Have you said any of those things to yourself? I don't know how. I don't know how. I want all these things, but I don't know how. Have you said that to yourself before? Okay, I want to know in the chat. Let me know, you guys. I'm going to try to kick this guy outside. Fisher. If it's not the kid, it's the cat, right? Oh my goodness. Hey, have you said these things to yourself before? Let me know. He's going to stay under there. And goodness. Yes, absolutely. Yes, yes, yes. Thank you. A lot more recently. Yes. Okay. I will say that the more we grow and expand, the more we take action, we take new action, the louder those voices tend to be. Okay. And the more, it's almost like the more vulnerable we get sometimes because we're like, oh, well, I already put myself out there and nothing's happening, or I already tried. I've been trying for months now and not much is happening. Uh-huh. Okay. We know why it's not happening, right? We get complacent. We start to cap ourselves in our actions. We continue to take action sometimes, but it's not the right kind of action because the energy is not there. The intention's not there. Okay. I am amazed at how, what's the word? Um, it's adaptable, how adaptable we are as human beings. Like we can normalize fucking anything. Okay, so what are you normalizing? You've probably normalized the action that you were taking in your business, and now it feels flat. You could be taking the same action that was working 3 months ago, right now, and it can be a completely different outcome. Think about that because you've up leveled, you've changed, and your action needs to change. Your identity, your self concept has shifted, and it's up to you to be able to hold you through that level. Does that make sense? So, this is me in 2019. September 2019, I got on a one-way flight to Costa Rica alone with my two kids. They were 2 and 4 at the time. What changed? My self-concept. I made a decision. A lot of you know this story, right? Like I just was mentioning, I had been avoiding making a decision for a long time. Okay, I knew since my son was born, I want to show him the world. I don't know how. The money's not here. And I was like, one day, one day, one day, one day I'm going to show him the world. One day it's going to happen. All right. But the thing is that if we don't create the demand, it doesn't happen. How do we create the demand? Through making the decision. Okay, the money doesn't come before the decision is made. The money comes after. The success comes after. The business growth comes after. Why? Because you change who you believe you are. Okay, the dots only line up looking back. If we look back, we're like, how the fuck did that work out? But it always works out. Why? Because we create a demand. If you want to do something, you decide this is what I'm going to do, and we don't let ourselves be swayed by the contrast or the how. Right? Okay, are you guys following? Because this is completely backwards to how most people do this. So in 2019, January of 2019, I got in a car accident. You guys know this. I rode off my mom's truck while she was in Mexico with my baby in the car on the way to pick up little Macawi from forest school. Black ice. We fishtailed and did a bit of a spin and hit the side, and we were fine, luckily, but that moment changed me. I made a decision. On the side of that highway, I was leaving. I didn't know how. The money wasn't there. My business was doing okay. I made the decision right there in my soul. I say, like, in my cells. I made that decision. My life is changing. Our life is changing. Effective immediately, we are going to Costa Rica. Before the next snowfall, the first snowflake of that following winter. It was like, we're gone. We're out of here. And from that decision, I moved differently. Okay. So how can you make a decision even amidst the uncertainty? Even when you don't know how, even when the money's not here, even when the business success isn't here, how can you make that decision right now? And it's not logical. All right, let's go back to be do have. What do we got going on here? Yeah, a little bit out of order here. That's all right. We've been taught we need to do the work. We need to figure it out. We need to reverse engineer. We need to be very logical. We need to think this through. We need to plan it all out so that we can have the results, so that we can have the experiences, so that we can have the success. And then we will be worthy. Then we will be successful. Then we will be free. That's what we've been taught, right? That is not only exhausting and hard, it also takes a long time. It takes a lot of effort. That is mechanical, masculine action. That is what do, have, be is. It is taking action in the mechanical, masculine form. It is using our body and our mind to work, okay? That is what we've been taught works. That is not what I did. If I would have, back in 2017, 2019, if I would have told myself, all right, and that's what I was doing before I made the decision, right? I need to work really hard. I need to scale my business to at least 5-figure months, right? 5-figure months, I'll be set, and then I can book the plane ticket, and then I can do the things. Okay, what is going on there? I am forcing, and I am what's like this way of manifesting, of realizing, of obtaining results is possible. Of course it is. We see it all the time. People do it all the time. What happens as a side effect? We talked about it. It's really exhausting. It's hard work. We burn out. Okay. Have you heard the theory 2x, 10x is easier than 2x? We've heard that. Okay. Here's why. If I was working from my current results and saying, okay, what do I want? I want to take my kids to Costa Rica. Great. I got to do this and this and this and this. I got to like work really hard to scale my business, just like I just said. All of those things I got to do. I got to do the things. That's a 2x because it's incremental growth. It's incremental growth. It will be challenging. I'll be needing to do a lot of work, a lot of physical labor. Okay, but what's the 10x? The 10x is the identity shift. We're going to talk about quantum physics in a second here. Okay, the identity shift. What does that even mean? Because the reality that we want, the dreams, desired outcome that we want, that we're dreaming of, has a certain frequency and vibration. That version of us has a certain self-concept. So that version of me in 2017 was still believing that one day it was going to work out. In 2019, I'd already become that version of me. Okay, before 2019. Well, that car accident closed the gap, right? But I became that version of me, and I took action as her. What would she do? Well, she'd book the plane ticket. She would grow her business in this way. She would sell her product in this way. She would show up in this way. She would network in this way. She would lead herself through her life in this way. That is the be, do, have. That is how. People ask me how that was able to happen. That's the how. It's the who. It's the who. I got an opportunity the other day to speak on a stage here in town, and it was awesome. It was so much fun. And I had the thought of prefacing the conversation when I was to go on the stage, prefacing it to say, you know, this is the first time I've ever held like a physical microphone in person. And I was like, you know what? I'm not actually going to do that because not only have I been holding a microphone, my own microphone, I've got a microphone right here for years, I have been rehearsing this experience in my head for a very long time. So this is not new. Okay, when I came to Costa Rica, it felt normal. Why did it feel normal? Why did it feel normal for me to speak on that stage? Because I had been living it in my imagination for years. Okay. Delusional, obscenely delusional, maybe to some people. But I don't know about you guys, but I'm pretty sure you're here for the 10x, right? You're not here for incremental masculine hustle. Yes, Ricky's like, hell yes. It is so true. We're here for the 10x. Okay, what is required of us then? A complete identity overhaul and faith, obscene delusional faith in the unseen. Our ability to frickin' hold it, even when the outside world shows us the opposite. Okay, so that's the be, do, have. We be that version of us first. We do in a certain way, and we have the experiences in a very short amount of time. You want to take a trip? What's stopping you? The money? The money comes after you decide. Book the flight. The dots only line up looking back as long as you can hold it. The moment that we begin to doubt, the moment that we begin to fear, to question, it's going to be reflected back to us in our 3D reality. And we can have those thoughts, of course. We're all human. Okay, but it's having the awareness to catch ourselves. That's the difference. We can have the awareness to catch ourselves and say, holy shit, I see what's happening here, right? I'm feeling a little off. I'm going to catch myself and I'm going to remind myself what I'm actually capable of. I'm going to remind myself that I am absolutely an infinite creative being with unlimited potential. And this is what I'm doing. All right. Is this landing? Let me know in the chat, you guys. So we understand the be do have. This was me in 2017. This was me in 2019. And here we are. Loading, loading. All right. It's loading. Don't worry. It'll come. Love it. So good. Come on, white page. All right. There we are. So I love talking about physics. I love talking about specifically quantum physics. So I was having a conversation with a friend the other day on the beach, and she actually was like, well, I didn't know the difference between quantum and Newtonian physics. And I was like, oh my goodness, we need to talk about this. All right, so Newtonian physics, and maybe you guys do know the difference, right? Newtonian physics is matter, right? The study of matter, basically. Like we have been taught Newtonian physics in school. We've been taught that what we can perceive through our five senses is real. I want you to think of that for a second. Is what we can see, feel, smell, taste, right? Is that real? Is that what is real? Newtonian physics also teaches us that, yeah, Ricky knows. Newtonian physics teaches us that at our smallest particle, we are matter. Okay, if we zoom in to the tiniest little particle, Newtonian physics teaches us that there is matter there. This is an old concept. Now, quantum physics is becoming more known. Okay, but here's the thing. One second, I was going to throw this outside. Wow. Okay. You might be me on there. So our brain, our human brain, loves Newtonian physics because it loves to know how and it loves to see the logic behind it. It loves when it can all line up and it loves when we can see the outcome and when we can understand it logically. Oh, yeah, that makes a lot of sense. Okay, our brain loves Newtonian physics. When it comes to quantum physics, there is so much unknown that there's a lot more opportunity for confusion. Okay, quantum physics is energy. Science shows us now that at our tiniest particle, there is literally nothing. Okay, nothing as in energy. So in a sense, there is nothing and everything at the same time. At the tiniest particle, there is energy. It's not actually matter. It's moving. It's vibrating. So if we think of that, this is really interesting because what does this have to do with anything at all? Let's talk about the quantum field. Okay. I see the quantum field as this infinite, like it says here, web of vibrating possibility, infinite potential, infinite potentiality. Everything already exists in this intricate web of vibrating possibility. Okay, so everything already exists. Think of that. We know this to be true because there's opportunity for us, for example, in our imagination. Okay, we do this often. I think we're going to do this tomorrow actually, is we can go into our imagination right now and we can go into a future timeline and we can experience it right now in our imagination. We can have a full body experience living it in our imagination. Okay, isn't that cool? That for me, I see that as time travel, traveling through time. And the same time, we can actually travel back in time in our imagination and have the same visceral experience that we had 25 years ago or more. Isn't that incredible? Like we can relive something that happened in our past again in a second. Okay, so the quantum field is when we are thinking, when we are believing, when we are taking action, our self-concept, all of it is being projected out around us. Okay, our energy projects. The quantum field, the infinite potential where all already exists, is available to us. All of those things are available to us, but it reflects. It can reflect back to us. Okay, so I want you to ask yourself, when we think of it like that, what signals have I been sending out? What signals have I been sending out? Have I been feeling fear? Have I been living in lack in any way? Have I been questioning myself or having doubt around my business, my company, my success? Have I been floundering in making a decision? Because all of that is being projected out past your body, past your own field, and being reflected back to you. If we send out those signals of disbelief, struggle, doubt, lack, fear, whatever it is it a surprise that we receive them back? Okay, so we also sometimes can have these upper limits where our nervous system basically will protect us from experiencing more. Okay, have you ever experienced this where not just a state of contraction? So, for example, if you go to do something that you've never done before and your nervous system freaks out and it's like radar's going off, I don't know, like I'm in a state of fight or flight, like high stress, right? It's not just that, but it's something. Sometimes this upper limit can be described, or oh my gosh, I'm lost for words today. Not described. It can be kind of like hidden in sometimes like an illness. Okay, sometimes something happens. Okay, the moment that it's like a breakthrough's just about to happen, and then something happens. We get sick. Somebody else gets sick. And then we start to potentially spiral and go back to old habits. These are some upper limits that can unconsciously exist. And it's kind of crazy to think about, right? But I want us to realize here, the reason why I'm bringing this up is because I want us to realize that we are the creators of our reality, period. We need to make a decision, hold the decision, do have the decision, and it will by law manifest if we can hold it, if we can have faith in the unseen. Okay, is this landing? And again, if you guys have questions or anything to add as well, like this is just like basics of the quantum field. So what is manifestation? What is manifestation? It is the manifestation happens when our inner world matches our desired outer world, when there is no gap. Yeah, Kara. When there's no gap. Okay, so spirit, mind, body, this is the flow. We receive a thought, a desire from the quantum field, from our highest potential, from infinite source creative energy, God, universe, whatever we want to call it, it's all the same thing. We receive through spirit. It comes from outside of us. Anything that we can see right now and experience through our 3D world, through our five senses, came through someone's imagination, right? It came from that infinite potential, the quantum field, let's say. Think about that for a second. So manifestation starts as a spiritual concept. That's why I often say money is a spiritual idea. Money came as an idea through someone or a group of people. Okay. So after spirit, we have this mind that comes in. Okay. Our mind then gets to meet this information and decide what we're doing with it. This here's what often happens is we receive this information, this guidance, this like intuitive hunch. Oh my gosh, this would be such a good idea. Or, oh, I would love this. And then the mind comes in and shuts it down. Have you had that happen before? Okay. Or you're like, okay, this is amazing, but I know my tendencies. I got to sit with this. I got to think about this. I got to ask my partner about this. And then what happens? The mind, the conscious mind, of course, just shuts it down, right? It just happens, right? When we think about something and it doesn't make any sense. Remember what we talked about, Newtonian versus quantum, right? When something comes through us and it doesn't make any sense, the mind's tendency is to shut it down. Not possible. I don't know how. The money's not here yet. All of it. Okay. But what happens when we train our mind and we can actually receive that information and work with the mind to bring it into the body? Okay. We can receive it and know this is all it is. I have faith that this is on my heart for a reason. I have faith that I'm the one to bring it to life. I have faith that if I can be my most authentic self, I have no competition. Sorry, Fisher, you're outside. Right? That's how we can work with the mind. We can close that gap. So we have that spirit mind connection. The mind can perceive I am an unlimited human being. I'm an unlimited spiritual being having a human experience, even better. We can then bring it into the body. And then what happens? We can get our mind emotionally involved, as in, I believe that this is my truth. I believe this is possible. I believe in the be do have. I believe in the 10x. I can hold this. I believe I'm worthy of this. I believe that this is my destiny. This is for me. This is my movement. The body can then get behind it. And we need the body to move. So we don't want to stay in the delusion. We don't want to stay in the mind. Okay, because I mean, although, I'm not disregarding the fact that anything's possible. Miracles happen every single day. A bag of money can come flying out of the air and smash you in the face walking down the street. That is a possibility. I'm not disregarding that possibility. But at the same time, the body can make the things happen in an effortless way, in a way that feels incredible. Okay, delicious, right? Just like exciting. All the things, all of the incredible emotions. The body gets to take the action in partnership with the mind and spirit. Okay, is this landing, you guys? This is a concept that I think is just so fascinating, and it just describes the be do have so perfectly, because then once the body can actually be and it's taking the action that is in alignment with that which you desire, the gap closes. It's a matter of time, yes, but it's a matter of you continuing to take that action as that version of you. So manifestation happens when our inner world, our self-concept, our beliefs, our ideas, our self-worth or assumed self-worth matches our desired outcome. So good, right? Mind blown? Is this good? Is this making sense? So we don't manifest what we want. Let's talk about that. Yes. We don't manifest what we want. When we want something, we are essentially declaring that it's not here yet. We don't want that. That's the signal we're sending out into the field. Hey, I really want more money. I really want more opportunity. I want my business to grow. Therefore, the quantum field, universe, spirit, God, whatever, is saying, all right, I'm going to give you more of that. I want that. Okay, I'm going to give you more lack. So we manifest what we need to grow into the version of us who has what we want. We manifest what we need to grow. We manifest what is actually in alignment with our true belief and our self-concept. We manifest what we believe is available and possible. Okay. So manifestation is us bringing the unseen from the quantum field of infinite potential into the seen, the physical plane of matter. We receive, we choose, and we move. Right. But it's so simple to say, right? This is really easy to talk about. What do you guys think? It's really easy to talk about. It's hard, I can't see you guys. So I'm like, tell me in the chat. What do you think? But it's quite another to put into practice sometimes. It's quite another to hold ourselves to our highest all the time. It's quite another to be someone we've never been before, especially when we have people around us that know our old self, that assume our old tendencies and habits and results. So good, yes. It's so easy to say this and talk about this, but it's quite another to actually do it and actually hold ourselves accountable and actually lean into faith in the unseen. So I want to know, where's the gap? Okay, let's get vulnerable. Let's get real. What's the gap? What do you believe is in your way? What do you believe is holding you back from, well, I want to say, living your dream life? Okay, what is in the middle? Is there doubt? Is there lack of self-worth? Is there money? Lack of money? Is like, what's in the middle? We're going to tap next. And I'm going to take this, what you tell me in the chat, and I'm going to incorporate it into the tapping. So I want you to really sit with this. What do I believe is holding me back from creating the desired results? What's holding me back? Share it in the chat. Money. Yep. Okay, judgment. Oh, interesting. Knowing what? Knowing how? Okay, this is so good. Thank you, you guys. Keep going. If there's more that comes up, like, yeah, okay, okay. So after many years of mentoring entrepreneurial women in business, I know that doing or forcing is not the way forward. Okay, if we have these beliefs, beliefs that money is limited, beliefs that wealthy people are all assholes, beliefs that there's only so much available, and if I have more, then I'm going to be taking from someone else, beliefs that people are judging me and it matters, beliefs that people are going to tear me down and hate me and call me out and like create memes about me, like whatever it is, right? If we still have these beliefs that we need to know how, this is us trying to play God. This is us trying to play universe. Hey, oh, love that. Kara, that is so common. I just want to say something here for a sec. Not being able to figure out what is my gift to the community, how to create a way to share it. Okay, I love this because, and like, this is why we homeschool our kids, right? This is why we are so like radical and yes, this is why. Is because we as human beings, we see it in our children, are infinitely creative. Like we just have such beautiful, just like belief in ourselves. We have such beautiful ideas. And sometimes a lot of the time, they don't make sense. And so for us, I know speaking of myself, speaking for myself, is I spend a lot of time dreaming and like being in this like what if energy, and just to have it shut down by someone else. What happened now? Here we are in our 30s and 40s with these dreams and desires coming back up, but now we're like, oh God, what if? Do we see the similarities? Like something happened in the past. We've been conditioned, brainwashed, manipulated, whatever you want to say, into believing that our ideas don't matter, or we aren't good enough, or we need to be a certain way or at a certain level before we start. Or we're kind of like, we see it all the time. Kids like, graduating. Oh, what do you want to do now? And they're like, I don't even know who I am. I don't even know, like, what? It's that, in my opinion, it's years of being told you have to fit in. You have to do things a certain way. Because I know that you have so many beautiful gifts. There are, all of us do. We all do. Just look at our children. Okay, but we have lost our ability to believe in ourselves relentlessly, like unconditionally, illogically, unrealistically, believe in ourselves. Okay, I feel that people that are close to me don't think I'm capable of succeeding on my own. Okay, awareness is everything. Awareness is how we're going to change the thing. This is so great. Okay, so I'm after so many years of mentoring women in business. If I know anything to be true, it's this, is that we need to release this old information before we can be, do, have, because it will continue to come up. There are people that will tell you, fake it till you make it, like just act as if. But this thing is like a demon that lives in your closet. Okay. And on a bad day, that thing comes out. All right. And so we don't want to just continue to sweep these ideas and feelings and beliefs under the rug. We don't, because they're still there. So we store information in our bodies. We know that we are information. And so when we are working towards, let's say, if we're taking different action as a different version of us, we're working on our self-concept, we're moving differently, we're living in discipline, right? We are being the person we've been becoming for years. The gap is closed. What's going to happen? That is going to, see, I knew it. There we go. That is going to continue to show up. That trauma that we lived through. It was a personal traumatic event for me. I finally decided with lots of work and ceremonial help that for that not to define me anymore. I love that, Kara. I love that so much. Okay. And so there will be times when that will continue to show up, no matter how much tapping we do, just no matter how much, therapy and ceremonial help we get, right? It will continue potentially to show up. But here's the difference is we will have the awareness to hold it. And we can recognize it right away. And instead of it owning us, we own it with love, compassion. And we see that younger version of us as someone who is so special. And she has, we can go back to those times and we can heal. We can tell ourselves, I forgive. We can, in our minds, we can actually go back and change that situation. Isn't that incredible? We can go back and change the past. If we believe it, it's true. It's true to us. Okay, interesting, right? But the biggest piece here that I see is building the nervous system and the awareness to be able to hold it and continue to expand through. So even on those moments where we waver or doubt or question, someone said something, I want us to become so unshakable that we can hold whatever comes our way. And this is not us detaching and living in not being present or anything like that. Not at all. This is us holding our own energy with love, right? This is who I am. Okay. So the expand method, it's my tapping method, this 3-part method. I'm going to lead you through a tapping session on being the one and being ready now. Okay. So there's 3 parts to expand. The first part is venting and processing. So releasing that information from our bodies. The second part is healing and soothing, shining light on that inner child, sending so much gratitude to her. Thank you for leading me to where I am right now, right? Healing and soothing. And then activating and expanding is actually coding in the new information, our truth. Okay, so when we are tapping on these acupressure points, we are moving actual energy through our bodies. When we are venting and releasing information, it's very important for us to drink a lot of water because we're literally detoxing our bodies. Okay, we're getting information out of our bodies through using our voice, which, historically, women have not been able to speak their truth and use their voice. This is very significant. So we're venting it. We're healing. We're declaring, this is done. This is now my truth. Okay, are we ready for some tapping? Thank you guys so much for sharing in the chat as well. I'm going to stop sharing so you can see me better. Okay, and I'm just going to pin me. All right. So find a comfortable seat. When you're ready, I want you to roll your shoulders up and back a couple times. Take a deep breath in, grow taller. Close your eyes. Take another inhale through your nose. And then slowly exhale as if you're blowing out an imaginary straw. And I want you to just feel. Okay, feel how you're feeling right now. Feeling into that separation or that gap that you noticed. What is in the middle? What is holding you back or feels very real right now? I want you to just feel it, okay? Feel it in your body. Notice the sensations. And if you can, notice where you feel it in your body. Often we hold trauma, tension, information in certain ways. It's very unique for us. Notice where you're feeling this information. And then I want you to, if you can, give it a number on a scale of 1 to 10. Okay, 1 being it's not there at all. And 10 is like, holy moly, this is like very intense. Where is that number right now? How are you feeling about the gap, about the how, about the money, about the judgment? Okay, we've got the number. We can see it and we can feel it. I want you to open your eyes when you're ready. We're going to start tapping on the side of the hand. If you've never tapped with me, just follow along. Do what I do, say what I say. Like the game assignment says. Okay. I am now aware that I have been holding on to some old ideas. And that I have been limiting myself through believing that they are true. And although there are times when they do feel very true, now that I have this awareness, it's up to me to make the change. I am ready to forgive myself for believing what happened to me. And I am ready to see my past and everything I've experienced up until now as a gift that happened for me. I forgive myself. And I forgive anyone and everyone else who could have played a role. And I am choosing to give myself so much love and compassion as I am so ready to own the fact that I am the one I've been waiting for. And even though there's part of me who still fears judgment, or get stuck on the how, that's okay. I'm so here for it. Let's go to the top of the head. I have decided, eyebrows, right here and now, side of the eyes, that I am the one under the eyes that I have been waiting for. Under the nose, everything that happened in the past. Under the mouth happened for me. Collarbones, it made me who I am today. Under the arms, and now it's up to me to do something about it. Under the chest, I've forgiven myself, wrists, and anyone else involved. Top of the head, I'm the one. Eyebrows, and right here, I'm declaring down the eyes that the gap is closed. Under the eyes, the how doesn't matter. Under the nose, I am her. Under the mouth, and as I go into my day now, collarbones, I'm going to go as her. Under the arms, the successful. Under the chest, resilience. Wrists, powerful. Top of the head, compassionate, generous. Eyebrows, fill in the blank. What are some other traits she has? Side of the eyes, influential leader. Under the eyes, that I have been becoming for so long. Under the nose, I no longer give my power away. Under the mouth, to outside circumstances or situations. Collarbones, to judgment or fear. Under the arms, to lack or limitation. Under the chest, because I know. Wrists, that I create my reality. Top of the head, through the signals that I send out. Eyebrows, and the way in which I move. Side of the eyes, I am so proud of the younger version of me. Underneath the eyes, who got me to where I am right now. Under the nose, she has been through so much. Under the mouth, she never gave up. Collarbones, she is incredible. Under the arms, and as I think of the woman that I am becoming, under the chest, I feel so incredibly grateful. Wrists, to know that everything is working out in my favor. Top of the head, everything I've been dreaming of. Eyebrows, it's already happening. Side of the eyes, and all I need to do under the eyes is hold the faith. Under the nose, continue to be the best of me. Under the mouth, to grow and expand every single day. Collarbones, to lean into the discomfort. Underneath the arms, and continue to remind myself that I get to choose what happens next. Under the chest, and I choose growth. Wrists, I choose flow. Top of the head, I choose ease and abundance. Eyebrows, and I choose love. Side of the eyes, and so it is. I am the one. Bring one hand on the heart, one hand on the belly. Close your eyes. Take a deep breath in. And slowly exhale through the straw. And I want you to tune back in. Notice how you're feeling. Bring your awareness back to that space we were observing before we began. And just notice how it feels now. Has your number shifted? Take a breath here. And exhale. When you're ready, you can open your eyes. And I would love to hear from you in the chat. Has it shifted? What came up for you? Beautiful. Did you notice your number shift? Sometimes it doesn't. Okay, I don't want to say like, feel so much more grounded. Beautiful. Love it. Amazing. So keep sharing, you guys. Keep sharing. Number faded away and I'm ready to roll. Yes. Isn't it incredible how fast this works? Like this shit works. Okay. So our concept today, our conversation today was all about, yes, being. That was the first part of the puzzle. Okay, talking about self-image. Who are we here to be now? And I hope now at the end of the conversation today that you realize that you get to choose, that what happened in the past happened for you. We've all lived through very different, the tension was released. Love that, Kara. We've all lived through very different experiences. But that is exactly why this is so beautiful. If we were all the same, this would be a very boring world. All right, now we get to take what happened in the past and we get to be our most authentic, most unapologetic, most confident, most clear version of us. So our self-image is everything. So remember, the first part of the be, do, have is the being, is upgrading your identity and moving differently. Tomorrow, we're going to talk more about taking action in a new way. Okay, but for today, I want us to focus on the being. Okay, so one last piece here to add. For your embodiment homework for today, you're going to study your self-image, your beliefs, and your actions. You're just going to observe. You can even look back, if you're someone who feels like you've lost faith in yourself and your business, if you felt like you were doing better a month ago or a few weeks ago, you can observe yourself. Okay, what has changed? More times than not, you will find that you'll say, okay, well, I have not been tapping. I have not been exercising. I have not been studying. I have not, you know what I mean? It's just like we get so complacent sometimes, it's kind of hilarious. But maybe that will be your findings, okay? Maybe not. Maybe when you're doing this embodiment homework, and you're studying your self-image and your beliefs, and you're noticing that you've just been taking action that feels low vibration. It feels boring. It feels drony. And you're just taking the action because you've been told that's what you need to do. Okay, that is, if you want to break through to your next level, you're going to be have to become the next version of you, because that is how we close the gap. That's how we 10x. Okay, so contrast is an opportunity. Any contrast that you find, whether it be, like I said, the contrast of like, okay, well, this is all information. I haven't been doing this, or I have been doing this, or, if something is showing up repetitively in our lives, we're being delivered this similar experience. There is something to be learned from it, right? We know this, that we will constantly move through the same learning opportunity until we learn the thing. See this a lot in relationships, right? Okay, so the contrast is an opportunity to go deeper, to question. If we feel as though money is limited, and we look at our current results, we look at the money that's in our bank account, all that is information. That's information showing us where our beliefs are at. It's an opportunity to say, okay, where do I feel limited financially? Where do I feel limited in my life? What is in the middle? Sometimes, just like Kara mentioned, like the limitation is believing that you're good enough and that what you have to offer the world is of massive value. Because once you close that gap, and once you decide to trust yourself and have faith that you actually know how to do it and no one else can tell you, then you start to move forward and you start to close that gap and you start to receive. All right, so the contrast is an opportunity to go deeper. So again, here's the embodiment homework. Study your self-image. That's what I want you guys to do today. Just become uber aware. Who do I believe I am and how do I do the things? We do, like 80% or more of the things we do in our day are done on autopilot, done habitually. Okay, so we're going to start to shake up the paradigm and we're going to start to do things differently through taking back our power and deciding this is actually, I'm going to question this. Why do I actually do it this way? Why do I get the cheapest one? Why do I, something the other day we talked about on our mastermind call inside Expand is like, why do I have holes in my underwear? Right? Like, why? Why am I letting this happen? Okay, because all of this is all connected. It's also connected. Okay, so this is your homework for today. I'm so grateful for every single one of you live here with me and on the replay. Remember to share on your social media, right? Share. If you want to take a photo, if you want to share the graphic, remember that I'm drawing a winner for a private call with me where we can go deep into the gap, deep into what you believe is holding you back, and we can tap and we can move through it together. It is an incredible opportunity. So share it to your social media, tag me at the Jocelyn Dawn. And those of you who received the email last night that you qualified for the mastermind call, it's right after Wednesday's call. So what we're going to do is we're going to come off mute and we're going to get into this material and conversation together. We're going to move a lot of energy and we're also going to integrate and embody, move this into the body in a really big way together on Wednesday. Okay. So go have a beautiful day, you guys. Thank you again so much for being here. And I'm so proud of you for taking this step and this leap because you recognize that there is a gap. Okay, you recognize that faith is most likely a big piece of it, right? You'll get the recording to your email there, Vicky. Yeah, amazing. Okay, go have a beautiful day. And I'll see you again tomorrow. Same place, same time, 9 a.m. Central Standard Time. And yeah, I'm so excited. You're so welcome. Bye.